The Hollow Roots. They had heard the legends. Griever's Hollow, a forest untouched for decades, swallowed by fog and whispered warnings. Locals called it cursed, said a witch haunted the woods, her soul chained to the trees by something far darker than death. But that only made it more tempting for Marcus, Jay, Talia, and Renee, four friends obsessed with the paranormal. They packed their gear and set out on a cold October morning, joking the whole way in. But as the last bar of signal vanished from their phones, so did the warmth in the air. By the time they reached the clearing to pitch camp, the forest had fallen eerily still. No birds, no wind, just silence thick enough to choke on. That night, the fire barely flickered, like the flames didn't want to burn there, and something was watching. The first taken. Jay wandered off around midnight, flashlight in hand, to take a leak. He was gone less than 5 minutes before they heard it. A sickening crunch, a wet tearing sound. Then, a scream that ended too quickly. Marcus went looking. What he found made him drop his flashlights and vomit onto his boots. Jay's body was pinned to a tree, skin flayed in long strips, muscles twitching as if they hadn't realized they were dead yet. His tongue was nailed to his chin with a splintered root, and his eyes had been scooped out. The sockets were filled with writhing worms. Carved into his chest with a blade or a claw were the words, "She feeds." That's when they heard it. The singing. High, broken, out of tune, like a child's lullaby sung underwater. Talia screamed as something moved across the campsite, her camera catching a glimpse. A figure tall and half decayed, her limbs too long, skin like tree bark stretched over her bones. Her mouth was stitched shut with thorny vines, and her hair hung like dripping moss. She didn't walk, she floated, feet inches above the leaves that withered beneath her. Renee froze, paralyzed with terror. And then, that's who she took next. A black vine shot out of the witch's hand, wrapping around Renee's throat and yanking her into the trees. Her screams were cut off mid-breath. Marcus and Talia ran. They ran blindly through the forest, stumbling into a clearing soaked in fog. There, beneath a gnarled old tree with twisted faces carved into its bark, was Renee, or what was left. Her body was peeled open, a crude ritual display. Her ribs were spread like wings, her heart beating in the dirt, pulsing with an unnatural rhythm. Her intestines were arranged into a circle of runes glowing faintly red. And the witch was there, waiting. She turned to Talia, and the vines in her mouth uncurled. Her voice sounded like thousands of insects crawling through a dead throat. They burned me, tied me to the stake for midwife work. Said I killed their babies, said I whispered to the moon. But it was their jealous wives who lied, their holy men who chanted. They stripped me naked, tore the nails from my fingers, and flayed my feet so I couldn't run. They drove iron through my womb and fed my tongue to the crows. As I bled out, I saw him, the black root, the hunger underneath the earth. He offered me a deal, bring him souls, and I would be free. So now I collect. Then she sank her claws into Renee's chest and pulled out her still beating heart, crushing it in her fist. Black blood sprayed across the roots, which quivered as they drank it down. No more running. Marcus dragged Talia away, both covered in gore. They found a rotting shack deeper in the woods. They barricaded the door, breath ragged, tears streaking dirt on their faces. But the woods whispered. The shack creaked. A root burst through the door, hooking into Marcus's leg and dragging him downward, his flesh peeling off in sheets as he was pulled into the earth. His screams bubbled with blood. Talia tried to help, but it was too late. She was gone. The final curse. Talia didn't move. She didn't cry. She sat in silence until the door creaked open and the witch stepped in. She didn't scream. She whispered, "Why us?" The witch's hollow eyes gleamed. Because you were loud. You laughed. Because you didn't believe. And now, you'll believe forever. The witch plunged her claws into Talia's jaw and slowly ripped her face in half, peeling the flesh back like pages in a book. She shoved her hand into Talia's throat and pulled out her vocal cords. wrapping them around her wrists like a charm. Outside, the roots of the forest glowed red. By morning, the camp was gone. The gear was gone. The bodies were gone. Only the camera remained, covered in blood, blinking softly. Locals say you can still hear the screams if you listen near the hollow's edge. The wind carries the sound of ripping flesh, of desperate prayers, and the laughing whispers of something that was once a woman, but now serves something much worse. She's still there, among the trees, among the roots, waiting for the next soul to wander in. And once you enter, you never leave. Hey guys, if y'all like this kind of content, y'all like the stories, like and subscribe, and then just comment more. I'll see y'all on the next one.